Watch what you bet here on the channels here on That Betting Show. How about this, Teddy? We're going to get a little bit fancy for you guys out there. High XFIPs on display in Philadelphia. Cardinals and Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies favored by minus 128. The total sitting at 10 right now. Sitting across the board, maybe a little bit juice moving in towards that 10.5, Teddy. One of the things that we talked about before the season was those totals in Philadelphia. Here's a great shot at it. It's going to be Wainwright and Pivetta just the way you like it, Teddy. 81, 82 degrees at first pitch. 7, 8, 9, 10 miles an hour blowing out. Maybe a little precipitation here, but that ball should be jumping tonight over at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, and, the market certainly don't trust either one of these starting pitchers. You talked about the high XFIPs. I mean, Pivetta opened the season as the Phillies' number 2 starter. Well, after he had an 8.35 ERA through his first 4 starts, they sent him back to AAA. Did well at AAA, 50 strikeouts in 37 innings. Only 22 hits allowed during that span, but the 20 walks, certainly a concern, even at the AAA level. Gabe Kapler, quote, "We feel like there's been some steps taken. He's had some success, and there have been some bumps in the road. Pitching coach Chris Young and I plan on having a good conversation with him and arming him with some information that will help him on Tuesday." Questions about Pivetta. Just as many questions, if not more, about Wainwright, who has not been good. St. Louis hasn't been good. They blew another lead yesterday, 3-0 lead. They lost 4-3 and 10. Mike Schilt, the Cardinals manager, they all sting. That one stings a little more than most. We just have to be able to figure out a way to bring it home. This is a team at 7-16 in May. Wainwright has a pretty sharp home-road dichotomy. The road numbers are not pretty for Adam Wainwright. And his last 2 starts been ugly. He's made it past the 5th only once in his last 4 trips to the hill. That's not necessarily good news against a fairly potent lineup that he's facing today in Philadelphia.
Yep, we talked about 80-degree weather there in Philadelphia. Teddy, we talked about in Denver, 40-degree weather. How about we take it down to Atlanta, and where we get into the 90s at first pitch with a light wind blowing out tonight. It's going to be Strasburg versus Fried on the mound. 2 good hitting lineups here, but 2 pitchers coming in some pretty good form. Teddy, Braves favored minus 115 total, sitting only at 8.5. As like we say, Teddy, that's hitting weather down there in Atlanta.
It sure is, although not always easy to hit Strasburg. Coming off a gem, 8 innings, 2 runs allowed. Against the Cubs, 5 May starts, 39 strikeouts in 34.1 innings. Manager Dave Martinez, quote, "When he's on, you can tell that he uses both fastballs, 2-seamer, 4-seamer, and against the Cubs, curveball, changeup. But he gets ahead of hitters, and when he does that, gets ahead, he's tough." He certainly has a pretty good track record against this Brave squad. But, hey, that team's in good form right now. 5-2 on their road trip. We talked about the come-from-behind win against St. Louis just a minute ago, rallied to beat them in extra innings yesterday. Fried's been spot on. He's won each of his last 3 starts, 17 innings, only 5 runs allowed, dominated the Giants last time. And I liked his quote after the game. Even though 2 runs over 6 innings, quote, "I definitely would have liked to throw in a little better. The offense is putting up runs for you. I want to keep them down." That Braves offense has been putting up runs on a pretty consistent basis in recent weeks. Atlanta, to me, has all the makings of a bet-on squad moving forward.
Teddy, working in the industry, there's so few teams and so few information sometimes over the summer that can get us excited and work us through. We went through an entire baseball card today. It's a lot of fun, but thank you.